The night was colder than it should have been for late September. Emma Carter sat at her kitchen table, laptop open, a mug of coffee she no longer needed growing cold beside her. She had been scrolling through social media for hours, numb, her thumb aching from repetitive swipes. Tonight marked 1 year since her younger sister, Lily, had disappeared without a trace. The world seemed to have moved on. Friends stopped checking in, the local news stopped running updates, and the police had quietly filed it away as another unsolved missing persons case. But Emma had not moved on. She couldn't. Lily was not just her sister. She was her anchor, her opposite in every way. Where Emma was cautious, Lily was adventurous. Where Emma avoided risk, Lily chased it. And then one day, she was simply gone. Emma leaned back in her chair, exhaustion weighing on her shoulders. Sleep never came easy anymore. When it did, it brought dreams of Lily calling her name from far away, always just out of reach. Emma would wake up breathless, drenched in sweat, clawing at sheets that felt like restraints. She was about to close her laptop when a notification pinged. A stranger had liked an old photo she'd posted on her public account months ago. Absent-mindedly, she clicked the profile. It belonged to someone named Jalen T. An account she didn't recognize. The profile was ordinary at first glance. Selfies, food shots, cityscapes. Nothing unusual. But then Emma scrolled down, and her heart stopped. In the corner of one photo, blurred but unmistakable, stood Lily. The picture showed a group of people at a crowded street festival. Bright lanterns glowed above them, faces half lit by neon. But Emma's eyes locked on the figure in the background. A young woman, head turned slightly, caught mid-step, shoulder-length hair. The same denim jacket Lily had worn the night she vanished. Emma zoomed in, pulse hammering. The face was partially obscured by the motion blur, but she knew. She knew. That was Lily. Her breath caught in her throat. The photo was dated 3 weeks ago. Hands trembling, Emma messaged the account. "Who is this? Where did you take this photo?" She stared at the screen, waiting for a reply that never came. After minutes of silence, she began scrolling further through the account, scanning every picture, desperate for another glimpse. Most seemed random, but something gnawed at her. There was a pattern, crowded places, faces half hidden. None of the photos seemed staged. Almost like the photographer wasn't interested in the people in the foreground at all, but the backgrounds. Emma checked the profile bio, just wandering, capturing life as it passes by. A chill spread down her spine. She couldn't sleep that night. Instead, she refreshed the account every hour, praying for a new post. None came. At 3:17 a.m., she shut the laptop and sat in silence, clutching the mug of cold coffee like a lifeline. The next morning, she called Detective Harris, the officer who had once handled Lily's case. His voice was weary, measured. "Emma, we've been through this. I know you want answers, but chasing social media accounts won't help. Anyone can look like anyone in a blurry photo." "You don't understand," Emma insisted, her voice shaking. "It's her. I'm certain. Please just check it. Please." A long sigh followed. "Email me the link. I'll take a look, but no promises." She did. Hours passed with no response. By evening, Emma's nerves frayed into desperation. She logged into a burner account and messaged Jalen T. Again. This time, she wrote, "I saw the girl in your photo. She's my sister. Please tell me where this was taken." Minutes later, a notification appeared. A reply. "Why are you looking for her?" Her stomach dropped. She typed quickly. "She's been missing for a year. I just want to find her. Please, tell me where." The typing bubble appeared, vanished, appeared again. Then, "Some things are better left unfound." Emma froze. Her skin prickled, heart racing. She reread the message over and over, trying to make sense of it. What did that mean? Her phone buzzed again. Another message. "If you really want answers, come to the old Willow Creek Fairgrounds. Midnight. Come alone." Emma's breath caught. Willow Creek. The same place the photo had been taken. She recognized the lanterns now. The fairgrounds had been closed for years, abandoned after a fire destroyed half the rides. Her first instinct was to call the police again, but she knew Harris would dismiss her. and something told her, deep down, that this was the only lead she might ever get. By 11:30 p.m., Emma sat at her car outside the rusted gates of Willow Creek. The air smelled of wet earth and decay, the remnants of rain clinging to the asphalt. The fairgrounds loomed beyond, skeletal rides, broken signs, the ghost of laughter in a place that once brimmed with life. Her phone buzzed. A new message. You came. Good. Walk to the carousel. Emma's hands shook as she typed. Where's Lily? No response. She tightened her jacket and stepped through the gate, flashlight in hand. The silence pressed against her ears, heavy and unnatural. Each crunch of gravel under her shoes echoed too loudly, like the fairground itself was listening. She passed rusted food stands, collapsed tents, a row of headless mannequins once used for carnival games. Her flashlight flickered across peeling paint and twisted metal. Every shadow looked alive. At last, she reached the carousel. Its horses were frozen mid-gallop, their paint flaked away to reveal pale wood beneath. Chains rattled in the breeze, though the air was still. Emma's phone buzzed again. Look behind you. Her heart leapt in her throat. She spun around. Nothing. Just the empty fairground stretching into darkness. Her phone buzzed once more. Closer. She turned back toward the carousel. And then she saw it. On one of the horses, slumped as if asleep, was a denim jacket. Lily's jacket. Emma rushed forward, grabbing it with shaking hands. The fabric was worn, dirt-stained, but real. She pressed it to her chest, tears burning her eyes. Lily, she whispered into the empty air. Silence. Her phone buzzed. You shouldn't have come. Emma staggered back, scanning the shadows, her flashlight beam darting wildly. Where is she? She shouted, voice cracking. Where's my sister? No reply came. But somewhere deep in the fairgrounds, hidden among the broken rides and crumbling booths, a laugh echoed. Low, mocking, familiar. Emma's blood ran cold. The laugh was faint at first, carried on the stale night air, but Emma recognized something about it. Not the voice exactly, but the rhythm. A memory clawed at her. The way Lily used to laugh when she was trying to scare Emma as kids, hiding in the shadows of their old farmhouse, whispering boo before bursting into giggles. This laugh, though, wasn't innocent. It was jagged, off, like an echo distorted through a cracked speaker. Emma's flashlight quivered as she swept the beam across the fairgrounds. Broken rides loomed like skeletons, and beyond them, the darkness pressed thick as tar. Lily, she whispered again, her voice swallowed by silence. The carousel groaned, a slow creak of wood shifting under weight that wasn't hers. Emma spun back, but the horses stood frozen, their painted mouths twisted in eternal screams. She gripped Lily's jacket tighter, pulse drumming in her ears. Her phone buzzed. A message glowed against the screen. Keep walking. You'll see more. Her hands trembled. She typed back. Who are you? Where is she? No answer. Emma's feet moved before her mind agreed. She stepped away from the carousel, following the gravel path deeper into the maze of ruins. She passed the old Ferris wheel, its cars swaying gently though there was no wind. The metal groaned like a living thing, a chorus of whispers caught in its gears. At the base of the Ferris wheel, her light caught something new, photographs. Dozens of them, pinned haphazardly to the rusted supports with bent nails and tape. Emma's throat tightened as she drew closer. They were Instagram photos, screenshots printed out. Each one showed strangers at crowded places, parades, cafes, concerts. And in the backgrounds, there she was again. Lily, sometimes blurred, sometimes clearer, always just a face among the crowd. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. These weren't just photos from one account. She recognized watermarks, usernames, different profiles, all stolen, collected. Each one hiding Lily's figure like a secret message. Why would anyone do this? Her phone buzzed again. Do you see her? She's everywhere, always watching. Emma's skin prickled. She typed furiously. Why are you doing this? Is Lily alive? A pause. Then, she's closer than you think. The Ferris wheel creaked, louder this time, as though punctuating the words. Emma staggered back, her flashlight catching on something at the ground beneath the photographs, a single shoe. Muddy, worn. She clutched Lily's jacket, the shoe still in her other hand. The weight of dread pressed down on her lungs. Her phone buzzed. Careful. She doesn't like being chased. Emma's blood ran cold. Emma whispered, staring at the message. What do you mean she? No reply. The silence of the fairgrounds seemed heavier now. Every broken ride, every leaning booth seemed to lean closer, watching. Emma forced herself forward, driven by equal parts fear and love. She passed the tilt-a-whirl, its seats filled with rainwater, glinting like dark mirrors. Her light swept across faded posters plastered to the walls, edges curling with rot. A face stared back from one, Lily's face. Emma stumbled. The poster was grainy, weathered, but unmistakably her sister. Except the text beneath wasn't her name. It read, "The Girl Who Watches." Emma's breath came shallow. She ripped the poster down, paper tearing under her grip. More lay beneath it. Layers of them. Each one with Lily's image, some smiling, some screaming, some blurred. Different versions of her. The laugh rippled through the night again. This time, Emma was certain it wasn't just an echo. It came from somewhere specific, the house of mirrors at the end of the midway. Her phone buzzed again. Go inside. She wants you to. Emma's hands shook violently. I won't play your game, she hissed aloud. But her feet betrayed her, pulling her closer. The house of mirrors loomed like a blackened mouth, its entrance crooked, mirrors cracked and fogged with time. She stepped through, and the air grew colder instantly, the silence heavier. Her flashlight beam splintered off glass walls, multiplying her reflection until she stood among dozens of herself. Pale, wide-eyed, clutching a jacket like armor. Each reflection looked slightly wrong. One tilted its head too far. Another's mouth twitched into a smile she wasn't making. Emma's breath fogged the glass. This isn't real, she whispered, convincing no one. Her phone buzzed. Not all reflections are yours. Her stomach dropped. She raised the light. And there, 2 mirrors down, behind the warped glass, stood Lily. Her sister's eyes were wide, unblinking, her lips pressed into a thin line. Lily! Emma rushed forward, slamming her hand against the glass. But the reflection didn't move as she did. It just stared back, face pale as chalk. Please, Emma begged, tears spilling. Come back to me. Her reflection trembled, but not like her. The glass fogged, handprints blooming from the other side. Fingers long, desperate, clawing. Emma stumbled back, panic rising like bile. The laugh filled the chamber, bouncing from mirror to mirror until it felt like the whole world was cackling at her. Her phone buzzed again. She's waiting where it all began. Emma choked back sobs. Where it began, she knew. The place Lily vanished. The abandoned farmhouse on the edge of town. The drive to the farmhouse was silent except for the hum of the engine and the steady thrum of Emma's heartbeat. Her knuckles were white against the steering wheel, Lily's denim jacket draped over the passenger seat as though her sister were riding beside her. The roads were empty, lined with skeletal trees that bent toward the asphalt like mourners. The farmhouse sat on the outskirts of town, abandoned long before Lily disappeared. It had once belonged to their grandparents, but years of neglect had left it hollow and broken. Emma hadn't set foot there since childhood. Too many nights had been spent listening to the creak of old boards and the moan of the wind through cracked windows. Even as kids, the place unsettled them. But Lily had always been braver. Emma parked at the edge of the overgrown driveway. Weeds clawed through the gravel, reclaiming the path. The house loomed ahead, windows black, roof sagging under the weight of time. She stepped out, the night air colder here, sharper, as though the land itself remembered. Clutching the flashlight, she approached the porch. The boards groaned under her weight, a warning in every step. Her phone buzzed. Welcome home. Her breath caught. Stop this, she whispered into the night. Just tell me where she is. No reply. The door gave way with a low creak. Inside, the air was thick with dust and rot. Wallpaper peeled in long strips, revealing the bones of the house beneath. Her light swept across the living room. Shattered furniture, broken glass, forgotten toys. Memories pressed in on her, Lily daring her to explore the attic, Lily laughing as they raced up the stairs, Lily whispering that she sometimes saw shadows move when no one was there. Emma's chest tightened. She forced herself forward. Each step deeper into the house felt like stepping backward in time. The kitchen was just as they'd left it, though colder, emptier. A rusted kettle sat on the stove. Cobwebs tangled the corners. Her phone buzzed again. She's upstairs. Emma's flashlight trembled as she turned toward the staircase. The steps groaned in protest, each one threatening to collapse. Her heart hammered. She remembered nights spent peering up those same stairs, convinced something waited in the shadows. Halfway up, she paused. A picture frame hung crooked on the wall. Dust blurred the glass, but she wiped it clean with shaking fingers. The photo showed her and Lily as children, smiling in the yard. For a moment, Emma almost let herself cry, but then she saw it behind them in the photo's background. A figure, tall, faceless, watching. Emma staggered back, nearly slipping on the step. Her throat closed. That photo hadn't been like that before. She was certain of it. She forced herself onward, reaching the landing. The hallway stretched before her, lined with doors. Each one stood slightly ajar, darkness pooling like liquid inside. Her light swept across them, catching glimpses: a broken crib, a collapsed dresser, wallpaper patterned with faded flowers. At the far end, Lily's old bedroom door waited. Emma's phone buzzed again. She's waiting. Her hand shook as she pushed the door open. The room was frozen in time. Posters of bands Lily had loved still clung to the walls, though their colors had faded. A stuffed bear sat on the bed, one eye missing. Dust coated everything like snow. Emma's beam swept across the floor and stopped. Footprints, fresh, leading from the window to the closet. Her breath quickened. She followed them, each step heavy as stone. The closet door stood slightly ajar, the darkness inside thick, impenetrable. Lily, her voice cracked. She reached out, fingers brushing the door. Slowly, she pulled it open. Inside, the space was empty. Just old coats, boxes, the smell of mold. But on the floor, wedged between boards, lay a phone. Not hers. Emma crouched, pulling it free. The screen lit up, startling her. Wallpaper. Lily's smiling face. Her lock screen photo. Emma's throat tightened. Her hands trembled as she swiped. The phone opened without a passcode. Her sister's phone. The gallery was filled with photos. Emma's stomach churned as she scrolled. None were selfies. None were saved memories. They were all the same kind of images she'd seen on the Instagram account. Crowded places, strangers in the foreground, Lily's blurred face lingering in the background. Dozens. Hundreds. Each one worse than the last. Emma dropped the phone as though it had burned her. It clattered to the floor, screen flickering. Her flashlight beam caught the closet wall. Something was scrawled there, carved into the wood with jagged strokes. She leaned closer, heart pounding. For words. Over and over. She watches. She waits. Emma stumbled back, the words seared into her mind. The phone buzzed violently on the floor, vibrating against the boards. She picked it up with shaking hands. A new message glowed across the screen. From unknown. Don't let her out. Emma's breath hitched. The closet door swung shut with a slam, plunging her into darkness. The laugh filled the room again, low, distorted, inhuman. Emma clutched Lily's jacket to her chest. What do you want from me? She screamed. The laugh died. Silence pressed in, thicker than before. Then from inside the closet, a whisper. Emma, her blood froze. It was Lily's voice. Weak, fragile. Emma, help me. Emma dropped to her knees, pulling at the closet door. It wouldn't budge. She clawed at it desperately, wood splintering beneath her nails. Lily, she cried. I'm here. I'm here. From the darkness, Lily's voice again. She won't let me go. Emma's tears blurred her vision. She pulled harder, muscles screaming, until the door burst open. The closet was empty. Only shadows remained. Emma collapsed back, sobs shaking her chest. Her phone buzzed once more. Now you understand. Emma's knees dug into the warped floorboards as the echo of her sister's voice faded, leaving behind only silence and the faint drip of water somewhere inside the house. She pressed her hands against her ears, as if that could block out the lingering whisper of Emma. "Help me." Her phone vibrated again, its glow the only light left in the suffocating dark. She forced herself to look. "She's always been here. You just didn't see her." Emma's stomach twisted. "Who is she?" she demanded into the empty air. "What do you want from me?" The phone buzzed in her hand. "Not me. Her." Emma's flashlight flickered back to life with a stuttering hum, casting broken beams across the closet. The carvings on the wood, she watches. She waits that seemed deeper now, freshly cut, as if a hand had just been there. Emma backed out of the room, her legs trembling. She stumbled into the hallway, every shadow stretching too far, every creak of the boards sounding like footsteps that weren't hers. She forced herself down the stairs, but the air thickened with each step, heavy with the smell of dust and something else, sweet, rotting like fruit left too long in the sun. Her phone buzzed again. She almost didn't look, but dread pulled her eyes down. "The first time you saw her was here. Don't you remember?" Emma froze on the last step. Memories clawed at her. She remembered being a child in this house, lying awake at night, feeling eyes on her. She remembered whispering to Lily that there was a woman at the edge of her bed. Lily had laughed then, saying it was just a dream. But the memory sharpened now, cruel in its detail. The woman had been faceless, standing in the corner, her outline darker than the shadows around her. Emma had buried it as a nightmare, the way children do. Her phone buzzed. She doesn't need faces. She borrows them. Emma staggered into the living room, clutching Lily's jacket to her chest. Her mind swirled. Was that why Lily kept appearing in photos, always blurred, always in the background? Was she even herself anymore? Or just a mask? Her phone buzzed again. "You keep calling for Lily. What if Lily isn't the one who answers?" Emma's throat tightened. "No," she whispered, shaking her head. "Lily's alive. She has to be." The laugh returned, low and distant, rolling through the house like thunder. Emma fled through the doorway and into the night. The cold air hit her lungs like ice, but she didn't stop until she was in her car, locking the doors with shaking hands. She threw Lily's jacket onto the passenger seat, gripping the steering wheel as if it could ground her. Her phone buzzed again. This time, the message was different. A location pin. Her heart hammered. She tapped it. The map zoomed in on an abandoned motel at the edge of town. The Red Pines Motor Lodge. It had been closed for years after a string of unsolved crimes, disappearances, whispered rumors of people vanishing from their rooms without a trace. Emma's hands shook as she started the car. She didn't want to go, but she knew she had no choice. Every step brought her closer to Lily, or to whatever had taken her. The drive was a blur of headlights and shadows. By the time she reached the motel, the night had grown darker, the moon swallowed by clouds. The sign was broken, letters dangling, the parking lot cracked and overrun with weeds. Emma parked near the entrance, the building looming over her like a carcass. Windows stared out like empty eyes. Her phone buzzed. Room 6. Emma's chest tightened. She stepped out, gravel crunching underfoot. The silence here was heavier than at the farmhouse, almost deliberate, as though the world itself was holding its breath. The motel doors were unlocked, hinges whining as she pushed them open. Inside, the air reeked of mold and stale smoke. Wallpaper peeled in sheets, the floor sticky with years of neglect. Her flashlight swept across the numbered doors. Room 2, Room 4, Room 6. She stood before it, heart pounding. The door was slightly ajar, a thin strip of darkness yawning inside. Her phone buzzed. "She'll show you what's left." Emma pushed the door open. The room was dim, lit only by the flicker of an old TV in the corner. Static hissed across the screen, casting jagged shadows against the walls. A single chair sat before it. In the chair was a figure. Emma's breath caught. Shoulder-length hair. Slender frame. Familiar. "Lily," she whispered. The figure didn't move. Emma stepped closer, each footfall a drumbeat in her ears. "Lily, it's me. It's Emma." The figure's head tilted, slow, unnatural. The TV's static crackled louder, filling the room with white noise. Emma reached out, hand trembling. Her fingers brushed the figure's shoulder. Cold. Too cold. The head turned. Emma gasped. It was Lily's face, but pale, hollow, eyes too wide, mouth stretched into something between a smile and a scream. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She tore her gaze away long enough to look. Told you. Not all reflections are hers. Emma staggered back, tears blurring her vision. No, this isn't real. The figure rose from the chair, limbs stiff, jerking like a puppet. The TV crackled louder, images flickering within the static. Faces, crowds, snapshots. All those Instagram photos flashing one after another. Each frame a stolen moment. Emma stumbled toward the door, but the figure moved quicker, blocking her path. Its mouth opened, a sound spilling out. Not a scream, not a word, but a distorted laugh. Emma pressed herself against the wall, panic clawing at her chest. She clutched Lily's jacket, whispering, "Please, please come back." The figure leaned closer, its eyes empty. And then, for a heartbeat, Emma saw it. Her real sister, buried behind the mask, eyes pleading, mouth forming silent words. "Help me." Emma sobbed, reaching out. "I will. I promise. I'll get you out." The figure's head snapped back violently, and the laugh cut off. For a moment, silence. Then the TV shut off, plunging the room into darkness. When Emma turned her flashlight back on, the figure was gone. Only the chair remained, facing the dead screen. Her phone buzzed. "She's fading. If you don't choose soon, she'll be gone forever." Emma's chest tightened. "Choose what?" she cried into the empty room. The reply came instantly. "Whose face she wears next." The motel room felt smaller with each breath Emma took, as if the walls themselves were leaning in, pressing against her chest. Her flashlight shook in her grip, the circle of light darting across peeling wallpaper, water stains, and the empty chair still facing the dead TV. Her phone buzzed again. "You've seen what she does. You've seen what she takes. Now you must decide, save her or replace her." Emma's heart slammed against her ribs. "Replace her?" she whispered aloud, the words tasting like ash. The reply came instantly. "She wears what she's given. She borrows faces to survive. Lily's time is ending." Emma's breath came short and shallow. She looked at Lily's jacket in her hands, clinging to it as if it could anchor her to reality. "No," she said firmly, voice cracking. She isn't something to wear. She's my sister. She's alive." The phone buzzed. "Alive for now." The laugh rolled through the motel, muffled by the walls, as though coming from every room at once. Emma staggered into the hallway, her flashlight beam cutting through dust and shadows. The air was colder here, her breath visible in trembling bursts. Every door she passed whispered with faint sounds, scratching, sobbing, voices she almost recognized. Faces seemed to flicker behind the dirty glass windows, but when she turned the light on them, there was nothing. Room 8, room 10. At each step, dread pressed heavier. At the end of the hall, another door waited. Unlike the others, it was pristine, freshly painted, the number carved sharply into the wood. 13. Her phone buzzed. "She's inside." Emma gripped the knob. Her hand was slick with sweat. She pushed it open. The room was different. Clean. Almost too clean. A bed with crisp white sheets. Curtains drawn neatly. A single mirror on the wall. Emma stepped inside, heart pounding. The mirror caught her first. She saw herself reflected, pale, eyes wide, clutching Lily's jacket. But behind her, in the reflection, Lily stood. Emma whirled around. The room was empty. Her gaze snapped back to the mirror. Lily was still there, her face gaunt but her eyes alive, desperate. "Emma," she mouthed. Emma pressed a hand against the glass. "Lily, I'm here. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to get you out." The mirror fogged beneath her palm. Words began to scrawl across the glass, as if written from the other side. "Don't let her choose." Emma's heart stuttered. Who? Who chooses?" The mirror shook violently. Cracks splintered across its surface, Lily's reflection distorting, mouth open in a silent scream. Then the room changed. The air thickened, the walls seemed to ripple. The sheets on the bed blackened, curling into ash. The curtain sagged, eaten by rot. Emma stumbled back as the mirror bulged outward, the glass warping like liquid. Something pressed from the other side. A figure, faceless, stretching against the surface. Emma's phone buzzed again. It's her. She wants out. She wants you. The glass shattered. Emma threw her arms over her face as shards sprayed the room. When she looked again, the figure stood there, tall, thin, a body without a face, draped in shadows like clothing. The air around it buzzed with static, the same hiss she'd heard from the motel TV. Emma's legs trembled, but she forced herself to speak. "Where's my sister?" The figure tilted its head. Slowly, the shadows rippled across its form. A face began to surface. Lily's face. Emma's breath hitched. "Lily." The lips moved, but the voice was wrong. Too low. Too jagged. "She's inside," it said. "She's always been inside." Emma shook her head violently. "You're lying. She's real. She's alive." The figure stepped closer. The air grew colder with each movement, pressing against Emma's lungs. "I wear what I'm given. I wore her. I can wear you." Emma's phone buzzed again. "You must offer a face. Hers or yours." Tears blurred Emma's vision. "No, no, there has to be another way." The figure's head snapped, bones cracking like dry wood. Its faceless form rippled, flashing images of Lily, her smile, her laugh, her blurred presence in the background of countless photos. "Help me." Lily's real voice broke through for a moment, fragile as glass. Emma's knees buckled. She pressed Lily's jacket to her chest, rocking forward. "I'll save you, I promise. Just hold on." The figure loomed over her. Its shadow fell across the room, swallowing her whole. "Choose," it whispered. Emma's phone buzzed one last time. "Midnight. If you don't choose by then, she's gone. Forever." Emma looked at her watch. 11:45, 15 minutes. Her pulse thundered. She didn't know what choice meant, didn't know if sacrificing herself would free Lily or only feed the thing. But she knew one thing. Lily had been fighting to hold on, and Emma couldn't abandon her. Not again. She forced herself to her feet, tears streaking her face. "If it's me you want," she said, voice shaking but steady, "then take me." "Let her go." The figure paused. Its faceless head tilted, as though considering. Then, slowly, it reached out a hand. Fingers long, sharp, trembling with static. Emma's breath hitched. She extended her own. As their hands touched, the world shuddered. The floor cracked, the walls split, the ceiling caved with darkness. Static roared in her ears, swallowing everything. And then, silence. Emma opened her eyes. She was no longer in the motel. She stood in an endless space, mirrors stretching in every direction. In each one, faces stared back. Some she knew, most she didn't. Strangers, crowds, people caught mid-laugh, mid-scream. And in all of them, the figure lurked in the background. Except for one. In a single mirror, Lily stood. Alone, staring at Emma, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Emma," she whispered. Her voice was real now, unbroken. "You shouldn't have come." Emma pressed her palm against the glass. "I had to. I won't leave you here." Lily shook her head slowly. "It doesn't work like that." She doesn't let go. Not unless someone takes your place. Emma's throat tightened. "Then let it be me." Lily's eyes widened in horror. "No, Emma, she wants both of us. She always has." Emma's chest froze. The mirrors around her began to ripple, faces shifting, mouths opening in silent screams. The figure stepped from the shadows, stretching taller, broader, as though the very reflections fed it. Emma clutched Lily's jacket, heart pounding. She knew time was running out. Midnight was seconds away. She whispered, "Then we fight her together." The mirrors pulsed like beating hearts, the glass quivering as if ready to shatter under the weight of unseen pressure. Emma stood frozen, clutching Lily's jacket to her chest. Across from her, Lily's image pressed against the mirror, eyes wide with fear and something else, warning. The figure loomed between them, its faceless head tilting as though savoring the moment. The static buzz filled Emma's skull, drowning thought, drowning reason. "Choose," the presence whispered, though its mouth did not move. Emma shook her head, voice breaking. No more games. I won't let you have her. The figure stretched out both arms, long fingers splitting into dozens, each one brushing across the mirrors. Faces rippled in response. Strangers blinked, mouths twisted into silent cries. Emma's breath caught as she saw her own reflection among them, blurred, warped, already fading into the background of someone else's life. Lily slammed her hand against the glass. Don't let her take you too. Emma pressed back, tears streaking her face. We're stronger together. She can't win if we fight. The figure laughed, a sound like shattering glass and radio static. She has already won. Every photo, every reflection. She is always there. You saw her even as a child. Emma's knees weakened. Memories clawed through her mind. The woman at the foot of her bed, the blurred figure in family photographs, the way Lily had whispered about the Watcher when they were kids. Emma had dismissed it as imagination, but it had been real, always real. The entity surged forward, shadows swallowing the space. The mirrors fractured, splintering into jagged shards. Emma grabbed Lily's reflection, desperate, her hands meeting only glass, cold, unyielding. The clock in Emma's head ticked louder. Midnight. The presence hissed. Choose. One stays. One fades. Emma closed her eyes, gripping the jacket tighter. Then take me. Just let her go. The static swelled, deafening. The shadows coiled around Emma, pulling her into suffocating cold. For a heartbeat, she felt herself unraveling. Her face tugged from her, her identity dissolving like ink in water. But then, another hand grabbed hers. Emma opened her eyes. Lily's reflection had broken through the glass, arm outstretched, pulling her back. Not without you, Lily cried, voice cracking. Emma gasped. The shadows recoiled for the first time, shrieking as if burned. The figure faltered, its faceless head twitching violently. The sisters clung to each other across the impossible barrier. The mirrors around them screamed, every reflection warping, faces stretching in agony. Emma shouted over the noise. She feeds on fear. Don't give her more. Don't let her in. Lily's grip tightened. Together, they pressed against the cracking mirror. Fractures spread like lightning across its surface. The figure howled, a chorus of stolen voices spilling from its hollow body. You cannot live without me. I am in every shadow, every crowd. I will always watch. Then watch us leave, Emma hissed. The mirror shattered. Emma was thrown backward into blinding white. Shards rained around her, each one catching a flicker of a face she didn't recognize. The static cut out. The cold receded. When she opened her eyes, she was lying on the floor of the motel room. The chair was empty. The TV was dead. And beside her, Lily, breathless, real, trembling. Emma sobbed as she pulled her sister into her arms. I found you. I finally found you. Lily clung to her, crying into her shoulder. I thought I was gone. I thought she had me forever. They held each other until the trembling stopped, until the silence of the motel became only silence. No laughter, no static. At last, Emma helped Lily to her feet. We're going home, she whispered. They left the motel behind, the night air sharp against their faces. Emma never looked back, afraid of what she might see in the windows. For the first time in a year, hope sparked in her chest. But as they drove away, Lily turned to the passenger side window. Her reflection stared back at her from the glass, smiling, though she wasn't. Emma didn't see it. Not yet.